yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadadi Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yudapatakamallam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahanarekunathanitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahana Lilita Shri Vishakanyutamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpadarubhyacha Kripa Sindhubhyavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimade Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimade Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namne Namaste Sarasudeve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Deshaiti Tarine Mukam karoti vachalam bangam langade girim yakrpadamam vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Misharam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayesha Abdresha Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanacha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Nama Pangajanapaya Nama Pangajamaline Nama Pangajanetraya Namaste Pangajantriye. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to today's Srimad Bhagavatam class, chapter 2, that is Canto 4, chapter 2, text number 3 to 6. So we will read the text 3 first. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I think I have to open from the phone only. This is not responding. My computer is not responding. It went. Very good. So, sorry. Yetadakyahi me brahmanjamaduhu shoshurasya cha vidveshastu yatha pranam statyaje dustyajan sati. So, translation. My dear Maitreya, to part with one's life is very difficult. Would you kindly explain to me how such a son-in-law and father-in-law could quarrel so bitterly that the great goddess Sati could give up her life. So we have been hearing yesterday, Varshana Mataji gave very nice introduction to this context. I mean, and here Vidura is inquiring from Maitreya that how can such a thing happen? That Sati Devi gives up her life in the spat between her husband, who is the most elevated Lord Shiva himself, and her own father, who is the Prajapati, Daksha, who is so exalted a Vaishnava. He has pleased the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself through his austerities, and he is entrusted to the creation of progeny. So, how is it possible that his daughter Sati, she gave up her life? Then the Vidura is most jolted when Maitreya said that. This is referred to this story that Sati gave up her body in the quarrel between Daksha and Lord. How Daksha was so angry, envious of Lord Shiva, that he incurred the wrath of Lord Shiva. And and she could not tolerate her exalted husband being so so much insulted by her own father. And she said, we will see that story coming, taking shape in the coming few verses. So we will go to, so Vidura is again inquiring out of his, great curiosity. And so then next verse, Maitreya is beginning to explain the story. Pura Vishwasrajam Satre Samedha Paramarshya Tatha Maraganaha Sarve Sanuga Muneyoknayaham. The sage Maitreya said, in a former time, Pura, that is once upon a time, the leaders of the universal creation performed a great sacrifice in which all the great sages, philosophers, demigods, and fire gods assembled with their followers. Upon being asked by Vidura, the sage Maitreya began to explain the cause of the misunderstanding between Lord Shiva and Daksha, because of which the goddess Sati gave up her body. Thus begins the history of a great sacrifice performed by the leaders of the universal creation, namely Mariji, Daksha, and Vasishtha. These great personalities arranged for a great sacrifice, for which demigods like Indra and the fire gods assembled with their followers. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva were also present. Then text 6, we'll go to text 6 now. It's not responding. Prabhu, Lashmikant Prabhu, can you please read text 6 for me? It's not, my computer is not responding.
I need a few seconds to open this.
Text 6.
Okay. I'll read the translation only.
Yeah, translation and purport, please.
Purport is not there, Mataji, only
Oh,
translation.
okay.
Influenced by his personal bodily luster,
Hmm.
all the fire gods and the other participants in that great assembly, with the exceptions of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, gave up their own sitting places and stood in respect for Daksha.
Yeah. So here we have the context in which Daksha is arriving the scene of that sacrifice, and assembled are the great demigods like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, the fire gods, and so many sages, and their they are accompanied by their disciples and all that. So in that great assembly, Lord Daksha entered, and he was such an effulgent personality that everybody stood in respect, eh, except Lord Brahma, because he is the master of the sacrifice, and Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, if that is the whole reason why, Daksha takes, it gets very hurt. His false ego gets very hurt. How come? Lord Shiva is my son-in-law. He is married my daughter, and he has accepted that subordinate position, and why cannot he rise when I come? And then it takes on from there. And Lord Shiva, and we cannot even speak those words about Lord Shiva that he says. And in front of this all the great assembly, he is saying so many insulting words about Lord Shiva. He is not a clean personality. He sometimes laughs, cries, and acts like a madman. He is followed by ghosts and goblins, and he is no gentle person. He cannot, show the respect or the etiquette required of gentle persons. And then he is regretting why I gave my daughter, who is like Gayatri, to this person. I was foolish to listen to Lord Brahma's words and give my daughter in marriage to him. He is saying all such insulting words to Lord Shiva, who didn't speak a word, and he simply sat there. And then, hearing these words, Nandishwara spoke up. He said, "How dare you insult the transcendent Lord? Huh? You call yourselves Brahmanas, and you do not know um, the value of self-realization. Huh? You are all so blinded by fruitive activities that you do not understand the true nature of Lord Shiva." So Nandishwara curses the Brahmanas. Then Bhragu, the sage Bhragu, speaks in favor of the Brahmanas, and then cursing the Lord Shiva's followers. And all the commotion and all the, just like our, like in the parliament, we hear about, I am here in India now, parliament, we hear about the opposition walks out, or there is protest, the prime minister not allowed to speak. Similarly, there is this the great assembly of gods and demigods and sages. They disperse in such fury, and Daksha himself walks away, go back to his home, and Lord Shiva didn't speak a word. He just quit the assembly. to Mount Kailash. So here we have this is very very illustrative of the in-depth personality of Lord Shiva. No, Vaishnavanam yatha Shambho. That is the greatest of Vaishnavas. And Lord, who has been out of his compassion, he has given shelter to even ghosts and goblets. He has given shelter to those who are in the mode of ignorance, whose behavior is lower than that of animals. Such a great Lord, and he is being ridiculed by Daksha Prajapati. And he is crying, why I gave my daughter in marriage to him. So later on, we see the proceedings further. I mean, the sages and the demigods, they perform the sacrifices for 1,000 years. I mean, thousands of years, it is said, because they have to carry on the creation and the process of, visarga, that is creation of progeny. And Daksha Prajapati is, his very name suggests he is an expert. Means he is he is most dexterous in his activities of, and so he cannot leave it like that. So he continues the sacrifices for numerous years, and then we hear a conversation between Sati and Lord Shiva. Sati Devi is so, I mean, I shouldn't be narrating in advance, because although when I start reading this section, I go chapter 3, 4, 5. I mean, I have to continuously read because it so catches your attention, and it's so the words spoken are so heavy that oh, what next? What next? You'll be prompted and read continuously. So this is very heart touching. Sati Devi, who is the youngest daughter of of Daksha, and his pet, and she is so disturbed. How can she remain in peace when there is such a great event going on in her father's house? She naturally asks Lord Shiva's permission. Can I go? My sisters are all coming. All the demigods and all the exalted personalities and their wives, they are all so well decorated and wearing such beautiful ornaments and flying their airplanes, and they are going. I want to go too. So Lord Shiva, who knows what is to happen, and who knows the heart of Daksha, his envious nature, he pacifies Sati Devi, saying, such personalities, especially for 321, the third chapter, one who is conducted by false ego and thus always distressed both mentally and sensually, cannot tolerate the opulence of self-realized persons. Being unable to rise to the standard of self-realization, excuse me, he envies such persons as much as demons envy the supreme personality of Godhead. me, I have to get some water. ഇച്ചിരി വെള്ളം കുടിക്കണം, കുഞ്ഞിട്ട് വെള്ളം. So, yeah. So that is what Lord Shiva is saying to pacify Sati Devi. But then, and in that conversation, Lord Shiva says, I am always engaged in the loving service of the Lord, remembering the personality, Vasudeva. So, Lord Shiva himself is saying, so that is remembering Vasudeva, always, and paying obeisances to him. That is what Lord Shiva says. So he is totally innocent. I mean, he is paying respects to Lord Vasudeva in his heart continually. So where is he fails to give respect to his father-in-law. So when we hear Lord Shiva speak like this, see, this is the greatest personality of a Vaishnava who is always remembering Lord Krishna, in Krishna, pure Krishna consciousness. So he is equal to all. He doesn't make any difference between the high and the low. That is Pandita Samadarshina. And there is no, I mean, he is completely in that Vasudeva consciousness. So who can find fault with him? He is in the Shuddha Sattva stage. So we hear from Lord Shiva himself what his consciousness is. And this Srila Prabhupada gives so much in the purport, explaining what is the Vishuddha Sattva. And Lord Krishna's father is also Vasudeva. So that is that who begets Vasudeva as his son. So that is the most important truth about Lord Shiva. And such self-realized persons cannot be appreciated by the so-called Brahmanas who do everything with some fruity mentality, their sacrifices. They are actually in the mode of, Rajoguna or something, and they call themselves Brahmanas. So, who is a Vaishnava? Who is a Brahmana? All that is discussed in the coming verses. So then we know the end of the story, how it ends, and so this is and we recently we had the slokas in which the Shiva Ashtakam, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself glorifying Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva's consciousness is such that if we read about him, if we approach him in the proper consciousness, we will get such a push towards Lord Krishna. He will, it will be like because we hear Lord Shiva speaking to the Prachetas, for example. How dear the devotees of Lord Vishnu are to him, and vice versa. That is how the Lord Shiva considers the devotees of Lord Vishnu so dear to him. And in fact, he gives the Prachetas that formula, the verses by which he himself glorifies Lord Vishnu, and he is advising the Prachetas. You remember this stotra that I have sung to you, and then you will be able to easily please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In fact, at the end of Rudra Gita, Lord Shiva blesses that whoever reads this song in the early morning, and then he will be able to approach the Supreme Lord Vasudeva. Whatever his obstacles are will be like anartha nivarti. So if you read the Rudra Gita by Lord Shiva, then a similar thing is what Shivashtakam by Lord Chaitanya is saying. eh? All the Vaishnavas, those who study this Ashtakam will immediately be able to advance in Krishna consciousness. That is the mercy of Lord Supreme. I mean, the personality of Lord Shiva, who is the Supreme Vaishnava. So I think I will end here. I'm sorry, I'm not very well prepared. And if you have any comments, I'll be happy to listen, and it'll be nice discussion. I would like encourage some nice input. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. We have to wait a little. Mm.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji. You are in India, but still, you said you didn't prepare. It doesn't look like, it was like you're like a walking Bhagavatam. So, everything naturally comes from you.
Oh, no,
And
no, don't. I was just speaking so superfluously. Thank you
yeah, that
for
shows
encouraging. No, thank you for
you are
encouraging.
very humble. We all know that. So I was thinking how fortunate we are. Like this past weekend, it was Shivaratri, and coincidentally, we are in that exactly the Srimad Bhagavatam, the same glorification of Lord Shiva. And we had the good fortune of having His Holiness Rompad Maharaj here glorifying Lord Shiva. And yesterday's class, Varsana Mataji was very wonderfully, narrating about, Lord Shiva. And today, I, I again say the same thing like what she said yesterday. When I grew up, I remember, raised in a Sri Vaishnava family. uh, we were told like worshipping Lord Shiva is something like a great offense kind of thing. So
Oh,
yeah, we were not allowed to go to Lord Shiva's temple. So
oh,
I used to go with my friends secretly and come. That's it. If they see some ashes on my forehead, that's it. My grandmother will start yelling at me. We are born as Vaishnavas. How can you go there? Blah 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 blah. I remember growing like that. So somehow I didn't had great affinity.
wow.
Like after coming to Srila Prabhupada's movement in ISKCON, then only, after reading Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing from devotees, it feels so wonderful how great Lord Shiva is. He is a great Vaishnava. We were not taught like that as if he's some enemy. I was just, thinking myself and laughing so beautifully, everybody glorifying so wonderfully, how fortunate we are. I'm thinking, to be under, Srila Prabhupada's family. Thank you, Mataji. I know
Yes.
you are still in India, but still, I yesterday was thinking whether Mataji will be speaking today or, we will have like a proxy today. But thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thanks to Lakshmikant Prabhu's encouragement, he's not leaving me this time. So I had said, okay, let me skip. He said, no, Mataji, you can do. So I said, okay. Hare Krishna. Yes, fortunately, in my family, we would go to Krishna temple, and we will also go to Lord Shiva's temple, and there people will be, oh, Mahadev, Mahadev. It's a very great temple also, Shiva temple. Our Krishna temple was so simple, small in the village. That one is very big, Lord Shiva's temple. He has, for example, 7.5 golden elephants in procession. that is how opulent Lord Shiva is there. So as a child, I thought that's very big. But then, reading Srila Prabhupada's purpose and reading Srimad Bhagavatam, you get a real understanding. And how merciful Lord Shiva is, even to all kinds of fallen creatures. I feel very happy when I think of him. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, dear. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
Pranam. All glories to Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
I have this framework of Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana, and this Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva of looking at things, and the reality of it is just so wonderful. The oneness and the difference, because it it that world view is just so perfect when we look at things. It's like like Mataji, Jyotirmaya Mataji was saying yesterday. I was sharing, even I have not been to much Shiva temples growing up, and so that the conception was not complete. We understand that he is there, but how do we deal with the personality who is there, but we don't acknowledge him, we don't respect him. I mean, respect is the next step. The first step is acknowledgement, right? And so that avagya, it's happening right there. We're not even acknowledging them.
Exactly.
But with this Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva philosophy, we were hearing this, Maharaj had quoted a Padma Purana verse talking about, which is quoted, where the 10 offenses are described. The names of Shiva and, the demigods are non-different from, or like, when people who equate them or consider them non-different. So the Bhinna and Abhinna are spoken about in that Padma Purana verse that was quoted. I was trying to find that verse, I couldn't find it. But anyway, the point is that when we see things that are distinct from the Supreme Lord, we consider the fault happens is we may think that they are independent and they are supreme themselves. But when we consider them as abhinna, also it is an issue. We think, okay, just by chanting this, the other, I get the benefit of the other one. That is also not true. So this, it may seem like contradictory, bhinna and abhinna, but I feel like it's if we can, it's the core of our philosophy and it explains everything. Anyway, I don't have any realizations more than that, but I wanted to appreciate personality of Lord Shiva being this. And again, yesterday I was talking to my children that our knowledge is avaroha pantha, right? It is a descending knowledge. So we may not understand him, but again, by his mercy and by the Guru's mercy, we may get some understanding. And so that is our hope. So anyway, thank you, Mataji.
I myself, stuck when Lord Shiva says to Parvati, I will misguide. In by the philosophy, speaking the Advaita philosophy. I mean, are we slow? I mean, it take years and years and thousands of years people stuck in Advaita philosophy. They think Brahman, that's it. And then it is just 500 years ago, Lord Chaitanya came and made it all clear. Then imagine the long periods of wait, the human is cut in between, I mean, of course, there is now also not so old. It's all like what we deserve, I guess. I mean, we are prepared for. So we go through these evolving philosophy. Prabhupada has given and broad explanation of everything and everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you so much, Mataji.